Hi, my name is Kevin Frank. I'm the district chef with the Office of School Nutrition for Detroit Public Schools. And what I'm here today to do is show you all how we make our stoplight salad. The stoplight salad is something that came about as we started our urban gardening program. We started making a stoplight salad because we wanted to be able to grow something that we could have a high yield of and still serve in our schools. So this came about because we can grow the salad mix, we can grow the zucchini and the squash and the cherry tomatoes. They are in season starting in July, from July to about October in Michigan. So when we serve it, it's generally early in the year during the school year, and it takes the place of our normal garden salad. So without further ado, I'll get together and show you how to make it. We've already cut our zucchini, squash, and our cherry tomatoes. We just cut the cherry tomatoes in half. The zucchini and squash, we have half moons. And our salad mix is already washed and ready. If I were gonna do this at home, we'd start with a bed of our freshly washed lettuce, which here we have a mixture of baby greens. And then in order to get the stoplight motif, we start with the red at the top, yellow in the middle, and green at the bottom for go. And there you have it. You can just top it with your favorite dressing. Personally, I recommend balsamic vinaigrette, but you can use whatever you like. And there we have it. Now, the way we serve it at the school is we use one of these 9-ounce cups. We have a half cup by volume of lettuce, our baby mixed greens, and then a half cup by volume of a combination of the three, the zucchini, squash, and the tomatoes. Right in here, up top, and there you have it. And that's how we make a stoplight salad here at Detroit Public Schools.
The Detroit School Garden Collaborative is a program that is sponsored by the Office of School Nutrition, whereby we grow healthy, fresh fruits and vegetables for our students. The purpose of the Detroit School Garden Collaborative is to provide access to fresh fruit and vegetables for the school children of the district.
Working with the Detroit School Garden Collaborative has been an awesome partnership because basically the Office of School Nutrition and Facilities and the Office of Science Education all have worked together to make sure that what's happening in the gardens and in the lunchrooms is also connected to what's happening in the science classroom. So we've worked very closely with all of those departments to make sure that what's being grown in the beds has some sort of connection into the classroom. So we look at nutritional value. We're talking about using the garden beds as science fair project labs. So there's lots of ways you can use a garden bed to explore science questions and then transferring those to science fair even. We've done some work around looking at where lessons from the garden make exact sense with our curriculum flow. So in other words, there's certain topics like seed growth, you can talk about plant propagation, photosynthesis, all those topics that are science content. If we can use the garden as a place for learning, then it makes that learning more concrete, more interesting, more engaging, and that hands-on piece. So this partnership has been awesome. The Office of Science could not have done any of that without the Detroit School Garden Collaborative.
Here we have a greenhouse. Our greenhouse here has the capability to grow 30,000 transplants. So we grow the transplants that we actually plant in the school gardens and at the farm, right here at Randolph. The Detroit School Garden Collaborative consists of Drew Farms, which is a 4.5-acre farm located at the Drew Transition Center. We have 76 school gardens throughout the city of Detroit. We have High Tunnel at Drew Transition Center, and we'll be expanding 3 additional high tunnels at the old Kettering High School site. We have a permaculture project located at the Ludington Magnet School over on Berg Road. We're doing this to provide access to fresh fruit and vegetables, locally sourced fresh fruit and vegetables for our students. One of the goals of this program is that our students would understand where their fruit and vegetables come from. So that is important because we found that in many cases we would ask students initially when we started, where does your produce come from? And they would say the grocery store, or they would say Dole or Garden Fresh. So some of them did not even understand that it was grown from the ground. So this program has been innovative in that we've taught them that. The other thing that we've taught them is to look at the nutritional aspect of what they eat. It is important to me personally for each one of our students to understand that a fresh fruit and vegetable can be a snack. It doesn't have to be hot Cheetos, it doesn't have to be animal crackers even, but a fresh fruit or a vegetable can be a snack as well. Each school in the Garden Collaborative has 6 raised garden beds, and those garden beds are built by students that are part of the district. So they were either built at Randolph, the majority of them were actually built at Drew Transition Center by students they're actually adults that have cognitive impairment. So my staff, along with the students and the carpentry teacher there, Mr. Knight, worked together and they built the garden beds. So we did not hire a contractor, we used students of the district to build the beds.
You've got almost 80 schools with garden beds. So the barrier of how do we get a garden, how do we get the plants, how do we make the raised bed, that's been taken care of.
The garden beds are used to grow the produce. So 3 of the garden beds are dedicated to what is known as the DPS stoplight salad, cherry red tomatoes, green zucchini, and yellow squash. The additional 3 garden beds, the teacher has a choice of what he or she would like to grow produce-wise in those garden beds.
Now our job as the academic piece is to make sure the teachers see that place as a place of learning and are using it in science instruction. So I've really looked at that, and my team has looked at that to make sure that we're encouraging teachers to use the garden space as a place for learning. We've held teacher workshops, again in collaboration with the Office of School Nutrition. So we've held workshops for teachers around the lessons that were developed, and teachers really love the lessons. We always try to have a hands-on piece. We try to have a taste piece, and I always have other pieces of I guess you could say the academic content. So we're looking at science standards and making sure that those are included. And teachers have really, really appreciated that. So we've provided them not only with the lessons, but also with the modeling of how to do the lessons, the support through the Office of School Nutrition. We also have the garden attendants. We have someone who can go around and support the garden. And then from my office, we have the science content folks who are looking at it to really give that angle. And so I think teachers feel really supported and encouraged, and the students love it. I mean, I really, to be honest, I just had my nephew who happens to be a Detroit Public School student and happens to be at a garden school. And just the other day we were talking about kale, and he was like, you know what's really great? Kale chips. And I said, how do you know about kale chips? And he said, we made them at school in our garden. We grew the kale and we made the chips. And so for me, that was super cool because not only is it a Detroit Public School student, but it happens to be one of my relatives who's just talking to me about it while we're driving somewhere. And I can only imagine that those kind of conversations happen all the time with students and their families. So that's really encouraging to me too, because if we're teaching kids about healthy eating and using outdoor space for learning, then I'm really hopeful that they're also talking to their parents about healthy eating, healthy choices, and using outdoor spaces for learning.
The feedback on the program has been amazing. One of the things that I am proud to say is that I've had parents come back and say, my child came home and they knew what the harvest of the month was. They know what it means to grow, what locally sourced produce means. They know, they have learned where their produce comes from. They know that carrots can be not only orange, but red, because we provide different varieties. These are things that they're learning and they're growing. This year we're going to have purple okra. So students will be able to they're learning things that they would not have known outside of this program.
There are certain things you're always going to be learning and teaching regardless if you're growing things or not. But I think probably the Office of School Nutrition could have a better answer about what they're doing to be prepared for the spring. Obviously, in the winter time, there's not a whole lot you can be doing, except we do have some hoop houses, we have some greenhouses, and so we will be, gearing up, and we're blessed that the greenhouse here at Randolph has been repaired, so we can grow seedlings here. Then those seedlings go straight to our gardens, and so we don't have to outsource, we don't have to pay anybody else to do that. We're doing that ourselves, and it's this self-sustaining process that's pretty cool.
This growing season, we are expanding our garden and farming operation. So we plan to expand our farm from Drew Farms over to McKenzie. So we're going to plant at McKenzie this year. We're also going to expand our crop. Last year, we're very proud to say that we grew over 10,000 pounds of non-GMO sweet corn. We fed students in nearly 40 schools throughout the district. This year, we're going to expand that to butternut squash, so they'll be able to eat the sweet corn as well as butternut squash that will be prepared, grown right here on district property, prepared and served to them. And I am proud to say that the corn had a 1 to 2 day turnaround time from the time that it was picked to the time that it went across the cafeteria plate and students ate it. So it was very fresh.
Once again, I'm Chef Kevin with the Office of School Nutrition, and today's episode was about our Detroit Public Schools Stoplight Salad. This is it's a great source of vitamins B6, vitamin C, and vitamin K, and the reason that it's a great source of all these vitamins is because we have all the raw zucchini and the raw squash in it, which brings me to our tip of the day. When we cook our vegetables, we always want to cook them al dente, which means to the tooth. We don't want to cook our vegetables to the point where they're mushy or soggy or they're not like a bright, vibrant color like you see when you have raw vegetables. Because if you do overcook your vegetables, what happens essentially is that you cook all of the nutrients out. That's why back in the day, people used to say you should drink the juice from the greens or the broccoli or the pot liquor, if you will, because that's where all the nutrients were.
Look around you. I mean, many of these kids are struggling, and although they have some of the basics, a lot of these kids at this particular location have had some troubling situations. And what we want to do is come in and provide a backdrop so that they can understand that their community is not all bad, that there's men in this community who are professionals who will help them, encourage them, and assist them in becoming successful. At one point in time, we were young kids, and somebody looked at us and provided us with mentorship and assistance and encouragement, and that's what we look to do.
And so we are here today to celebrate our young men, because at the end of the program, they're going to be a different young man coming from Henderson, being prepared for that high school endeavor. So I want to thank Mr. Jones for adopting Henderson, and I know we're going to have an exciting year, and I hope each and every one of our male students embrace this experience.
My name is Carol Weaver, and I'm Executive Director of Community Schools and Special Projects for the district. And on behalf of Jack Martin, our Emergency Manager, I'd like to welcome you today and like to thank the men of Phi Beta Sigma on this great initiative, the My Brother's Keeper mentoring program. I'd like to take a moment and just speak to you young men today, because this is an exciting time for you. This is your last year of middle school, and you will be going on to high school in a few months. We all need mentors. We all need someone to talk to. We all need someone to encourage us, to believe in us, and to help us. And this is what this program is designed to do. So I want you to embrace it. I want you to look to these men that will mentor and guide you. And if there are any questions that you have for them, any concerns, share it with them, because they're here to help you. They can be a guide about education, about work, and they can help you along the way. So I like to say that I, again, thank these men, but it's up to you to take advantage of this. This is a free opportunity. And we here in Detroit, especially our young black men, need all the help that we get. So we're going to embrace this, we're going to follow through, and we're going to stay in it. And we're going to excel to the next level, to high school and forward. So again, thank you, men, and welcome young men into the program. And now I will have Principal Mansell again.
At this time, I would like Mr. Whitley, would you just have some encouraging words to your male students? And then after that, we will bring on Mr. Joseph Jones to give a presentation and overview.
Thank you, Ms. Mansell. This is an opportunity for young men to grow. And I'd like for you to take advantage of this opportunity to be the best that you can be. You know, you say sometimes I am the hardest, meanest teacher in the world, but you know why. So because we talk about that on a regular basis. So let's take this as an opportunity to extend what I do in the classroom with you to make you a better person, a more productive citizen in society. Okay? Okay? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whitley. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out on such a cold day. It's kind of troubling at times, but we all press through, and we have to at some point in time. These are some of the things we have to do. I'd like to thank Ms. Mansell, Ms. Weaver, Mr. Whitley for the opportunity they have given us, the men of Phi Beta Sigma, to come in and to share with you. Now, this program that we want to introduce to you was established and initiated by the President of the United States, President Barack Obama. And our organization, Phi Beta Sigma, partnered with the President to reach out into our community because we recognize there's a deficit in our community. I remember when I was your age, somebody looked at me and said, "Son, let me give you some advice. Let me give you some education, some knowledge, some insight that can help you." And it did. And that same information that they gave me, we want to give to you. You're in a transition stage at this point in time in your life. And it's important that you are endowed with the information that will help you to grow as a person, as an individual, and to affect your community. That's okay, that's all right. This is a school. About the program, this is what we're looking to do. We are going to introduce to you how to build a business, how to become an entrepreneur. What does it take to build a business in this society? How to grow and mature as an individual. Conflict resolution, how to deal with people. How to overcome mistakes. How to become successful. What does success mean? How to establish goals. Now, I asked you guys earlier, how many remember? What is the definition of success? You guys remember that? Raise your hand if you remember. You don't have to answer. I know you're shy. Exactly. Well, success is accomplished by goals, right? And our goal within this mentoring program is to make sure you understand that. We want what's best for you. And that's why this program is called My Brother's Keeper, because we recognize you are our brothers, our younger brothers. And we care about you. I'm not just saying that. We're going to show that. Now, I'm not going to be long-winded and take up more time today. Is there any remarks or comments by the gentleman of Phi Beta Sigma? Just one? Okay, come on up. Our local chapter, Xi Beta Sigma chapter, is sponsoring this event. And we want you to know that if you have any questions, like Ms. Mansell and Mr. Whitley said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me or ask anyone else, okay?
I probably can do that without that. Good morning. I'm Carnegie Burnside. I know everybody's looking at this uniform. I am a captain from the City of Detroit Fire Department. But if I took this uniform off and went back to the place where you are now, I grew up on Dexter and Joy Road. That's where my mother stays still to this day. I went to Brady Elementary. I went to Central High School. Then I wanted to go on to college, but found out that my mother didn't have enough money to send me. So I went out and found a job. But after I became a firefighter, I went back and got my degree. So don't think that when we start mentoring you, that you have to be this smart person, you have to be rich, you need to get your money, you need to go straight to college. Some things have to be worked out. As long as you continue your education, and that's what we're here for, we're gonna make sure that those things happen for you. And you can be whatever you want to. Once we take that lid off that jar, we need you to just fly. Whatever, and it's the same thing that I tell all of my adult students, because I'm a training academy instructor. I tell my adult students, you don't have to just be a firefighter. You can come up and you can be the commissioner of the fire department. You can be going on to become the mayor of the city. So that's what we want you guys to get to the point where that's what we're going to do. But you can't do that by being that person that's walking around here with your pants hanging down and sitting with your head on the table or biting on a pen or something like that. You have to be proud of yourself, no matter what it is. Because once I come out of this uniform, I'm almost like y'all. When I'm around my friends, I do whatever I want to. But I know the time and place. So that's what we want to get you guys to the point. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Burnside.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just simply want y'all to do a couple of things. Repeat after me. I am my brother's keeper. Look at somebody. Look at your neighbor. Look at one of your classmates. I am your keeper. You are my keeper. Together, we'll make it. You see these 6 guys here? All of us have a joint experience. We went through something called a pledge period. And during that time, we had to say those words to each other, and we had to enact the reality of those words. There were things that we had to do that we could only do as a team, as a unit. We hope to give you some of those experiences during this My Brother's Keeper. I am my brother's keeper. Together, we shall be successful.
Thank you, my brother. So once again, we're excited about the opportunity, Ms. Mansell, to present to you this program, to teach you, to instruct and encourage you to be successful. We want each and every one of you to be successful. And the way you achieve that, it's going to take hard work. Nothing is going to be easy. But if you're diligent and you work hard, you will be successful.